Okay, well, we are here live and there's nobody online yet, but you'll notice that I have somebody very special with me.
Hi,
So
guys.
you're going to see everyone, you'll see people. And then if over here.
Okay.
So we get to sit here and just wait for people to come online. There's one person that's come online. 3 people. Look at that. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Hey, good to see you. You guys hearing us okay? Latvia. Oh my goodness. On the other side of the planet. Hello.
That is far away. Actually, I don't even know where that is.
The snow is pretty much gone. It is a very warm 59 degrees Fahrenheit out there. Okay. UK. Oh yeah, you guys got some interesting stuff going on too, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Oh man, the new shop is freaking awesome. Thanks for asking. I'm still getting used to having that capability out there. I'll be headed out there next to work on the 3D printer. I'm excited to get those videos up for you guys. Hello to Norway and Quebec. Hello. Awesome. Glad the sound is good. I'm going to be getting some lighting for out in the shop so we can do more live broadcasts from out there. But today, and hello from Georgia. We wanted to go over some of the things that we've been doing, kind of with all the stuff that's happening in the world. Mrs. Martian and I wanted to come on and just share and see what you guys are up to as well, and kind of what the reports are from around the world. If you've been following us on Facebook, I know some of you guys are on Facebook or on Twitter. You know that I don't really trust the stuff that's coming out from any of the media outlets. I would say that we're more independents rather than conservative or liberal. We tend to lean more liberal or more conservative, excuse me. But we'll vote for whoever the right person for the job is. That's kind of our political standings. So when I say I don't trust people, I mean I don't really trust either side of them. And it's been really difficult for me to find good information that's out there. So when I do find a good source, I keep track of it and I try to correlate a whole bunch of different things together. But what we've been seeing is a trend that, things are going to get kind of bad out there. And things are getting really bad out there, especially in Italy. I don't think we have anybody on from Italy yet. We got about 17 folks online. But when we see what's going on there, there's a lot of concerning information coming out of Italy, and what is true, what is not true. That really makes it difficult to figure out what's going on. So for us, we've decided to kind of take a step back. For a long time since we've been married, we're going on almost 8. Will be 8 years this June 2nd. Very important date.
Nice
Don't
job,
forget
Mr.
that. And so ever since we got married and been living here at this place, we kind of had a plan to, have some things that would allow us to be prepared if something went wrong. Now, this isn't just for like end of the world stuff. It's we live out in the middle of nowhere, and you do have to be prepared for things if they go south on you, and you have to be able to take care of yourself for a while. And I like that feeling. I like knowing that we can take care of ourselves, and that we don't have to have that grocery store right down the road to survive, and we can get all those types of things that spend our money at. And that's all about being prepared as well. It's really about being independent, which is where we want to be. We want people to have independence, and we want to be independent. We are tied to the grid still. Our solar panels, we have 16.5 kilowatts of solar power that's right now pumping it out. So that's cool. But some of the things that we haven't done really with what's happening with COVID, it's really made us step back about, I'd say 2 months ago, when we kind of saw the stuff coming out of China, and we're like, okay, this looks like it's getting bad. We need to maybe think about this. So we kind of started procuring some items. And then about a month ago, maybe a little bit less than a few weeks ago, we had a stepping stone approach. Like, okay, if it does this, then we're going to pull the trigger on these preparations. If it does this, we're going to do this. So it wasn't like, hey, let's just rush out like most of the people are doing. we were at Costco getting stuff before the rush came.
Thankfully.
Yeah, we didn't buy every single roll of toilet paper that we could find, but we did buy some, and one of the things we did is, thinking more sustainable, which is what Alicia is doing on her blog. While you're here, go check out theblossomingtable.com and see what she's up to. I'm going to come back to some of your comments here shortly, but, why don't you tell people about, your blog and just why you're doing it?
So I have a passion for healthy living, and also I am a believer, and I have a passion for sharing the light of Christ um, to others. And so I combine that in my blog. And yeah, I love cooking and um, preparing recipes and cooking healthy food and growing the food that we cook with. And so that is going to be definitely a top priority this year. And we've already started getting all that going and gardening. So hopefully we'll be sharing more of that in the future. But as for right now, I've been doing some serious prepping. Jeff thinks I'm crazy because I'm buying organic, non-GMO things. And he's like, if the world's coming to an end, we're not going to care if it's those things. But we're not there yet. So I still have been trying to find healthy, organic, sustainable options. And yeah.
So we've had some questions here in the comments. Let's see, in case of, okay. Yeah, the trend is showing things are bad. I'm just going through them here. Wish medical emergency folks would take it more seriously. Yeah, it looks that way too. Down the road, yep. Why are you buying toilet paper? Well, we're buying all supplies, not just toilet paper. But hey, TP is a first world kind of nice to have thing. So
when you're a female, you gotta have the toilet paper.
But on that, one of the things we like Alicia was talking about where the blog is about sustainable living, it's about healthy living. And one of the things that we did actually get, it sounds crazy, but we bought bidets. And some people are like, oh, if you run out of toilet paper, you can just go jump in the shower. I'm like, well, that's kind of gross, actually. But you could, and if you're at that situation, then sure, that would work fine. But bidets, I mean, been around for a long time. No toilet paper, very sustainable, easy to fit. And by buying a bidet, I don't mean we redid the bathroom. It was like they have these little click-on things that you can put right on the toilet. And they have self-cleaning ones, and they have ones with warm in it. I haven't installed it yet. I'm not really excited.
Oh, I didn't know about the warm part. That's cool.
Yeah, you can have warm. Gotta have a warm touche there. Gotta have the warm touche. To Mrs. Martian, yeah, we can. Let's see here. www.the. There you go. All right, so we got some things that we went in. We got some goods. There's actually a local farm co-op that we found. It was really great to support local, not just going to Safeway or what have you. We do have a Safeway across the river from us in Oregon, so we can go over there. But you found a farm co-op. And
yeah, as you were, I'm sure if you live in the States, you know about it. They have different drop-off locations in the States. You can buy bulk organic goods, and you can also have them delivered. Delivery is a little more expensive, so it's nice if there's a drop-off near you if you live in the States. But it is so great. We found so many things at pretty affordable prices for organic bulk goods.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. We drove in to a very smaller part of town than where we're at, and picked up everything, and it was all boxed really professional. And I was surprised that it's based out of here.
Just near us, and they deliver all over.
But it's a pretty good thing, and it supports local farmers, and it's like a co-op, so it's a pretty nice thing there. And oh, there goes the phones. Sorry, you get the full experience here of what it's like in our house, except for the dog's down at my feet right now. Okay, so we've got some dry goods. We've got beans. It's all going to end soon here, folks. Don't worry. The phone, I mean. What else? We got dried milk, a bunch of vegetables, some frozen vegetables, some fresh vegetables, and these are all things that we'd eat anyway. So basically, since we're on a fixed income right now, fixed outcome, as I like to say, because the money just goes out. We don't have anything coming in. all we did really is we just shifted our budget forward, and we procured the things that we would want and use anyway. We did get some emergency backup stuff. We got some dried goods. You know, Wrangler Star through his channel had a good link to get some get a discount on some freeze dried stuff. So we got a little bit of that. I already had some MREs, and you know, those are like, if we get there, then things have really gone bad, and honestly, we don't care anymore about anything other than living. But hopefully, it doesn't get that far. So yeah, we went in town. We got those things. Yesterday was our last day going into town. A lot of that decision just has to do with, like, if I get sick, even if it's just for a few days and it's just the flu, it really does put us behind. It's a really big problem for us. And we do have some folks in our family who are older. So we actually, yesterday was our first day practicing social distancing. In our county, there's only a few people. Howdy from New Zealand. There's our first day practicing. We went and we actually picked up some goods. We picked it up for the neighbors. We got some for Wrangler Star, for the folks, for brother, and you know, they didn't have to go. We went, took the expedition with us, loaded up, and then dropped everything off at their house. You know, and then Alicia's brother came up yesterday with the family, and it was the first time where we all, like, you know, everyone's staying. You know.
My poor little nephew didn't understand.
Yeah, he was in the car. He's like, let me out, I want out, you know, because he's used to, like, he comes up to me and I just grab him, bear hug him, throw him up in the air, you know, and it's pretty fun. But he couldn't do that. Then we finally got him out, and he was chasing the dog, and they actually had a dog die of the virus, so it's kind of interesting that happened. So anyway, all right, let's do some questions here real fast. Let's see here. We're already going. I got a few. If you guys, we don't have the super pay thing. At least I haven't seen that. If you want to pay, you can. But you get into any farm animals? Well, we already have a chicken. You've seen that. The Betsy the boss. You know, she is definitely. Sorry, let me make sure my power is plugged in here. She is definitely here, but not really doing anything other than pooping all over the new shop. And the workbench out there, so that's got to get fixed one of these days. We do have our cows. We have 2 cows. There's both female, and they're going to get bred out this year. They were bred out last year through artificial insemination, but it didn't take. So we should have calves right now, but we don't. So we did buy beef. We bought a beef, and
from our neighbor, all grass-fed beef, so we can fill the freezer. And also we bought some local pork from a local farm. So it's going to be so nice to have that stuff in the freezer. So if you have local grass-fed meat, I highly suggest that you go to your local farmers and stock up your freezer.
Yeah, it was really nice. It makes you feel good when you can support your local community.
Yeah.
So not just going and buying stuff at Costco or whatever. I think this whole thing might really teach a lot of people about getting back to community. And that's one of the things we liked about joining up with Eden, is we believe in the small community, small families being independent and supporting themselves. And this situation for us has really brought about a lot of the reaching out to community members. Like, you went to the farm up north and got the pig, and, like, you know, that's a small little town, and then guy selling pigs. So we bought some there. We bought from our cowboy. He's a real cowboy. There's people who say they're cowboys, like me, you know, a poser. You know, I like cowboy boots and I do stuff on the ranch, but no, this guy is like a real cowboy. Like, that's what he does for a living. He goes out, when he gets out in the morning, he feeds his horses, he saddles his horses, he loads them into the trailer, and our little dog is at our feet here. He loads them into the trailer, and he goes to work moving cows, and then he moves cows in his trailer with the horses, and the horses are just amazing. He's roper, he does all that stuff, and then he has his own little herd that he keeps track of. It's actually a lot bigger now. So it's cool supporting him, you know, and getting what we need. So yeah, we do have farm animals, and we've also procured some stuff to keep us going. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. Let's see here. Can we go hunting or wrong time of year? Well, that depends. Yeah. All right. Alicia's always asked me, like, I do hunt. I'm not very good at it at all. In my entire life, I think I've gone deer hunting probably about maybe 10, 15 times. I've yet to get one. It's actually a joke running in my close family. That little deer just always eludes me. Or there's just not enough spikes on it, because you have to go after a male and they have to have a certain number of horns. I haven't got one. But the cool thing is, we joke about it, but right now all the deer are coming out. It's not hunting season. They know when hunting season is. They know. They know when it starts. They know when it ends. Elusive little bastards. And all of them are out right now. We had like 20 deer up on the hill, and I just kept going breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So if it all went tango uniform on us, then we could have a lot of venison. But right now is the wrong time of year, and the wrong sex is out right now. We can't hunt at our leisure, PR. We have to. We're supposed to have a tag and license and all those things. We have to pay Uncle Sam. Air Power. That's right, Jordan. Let's see here. Grass-fed is great. Yep, grass-fed is great. You know, there's a misconception out there that you have to finish beef with grain. That's done for a reason. Kind of fattens them up, adds some marbling, and gives some flavor. That's what people say. But for our beef, we actually have harvested 2 of the cows that we have raised. And one, they were some of the most tender meat. Like, we've had Wagyu, and that's not worth paying that money because our beef was just as good. You can cut it with a fork for some of the cuts. You can cut it with a butter knife. I've never used a real knife like a steak knife. It's just overrated. And we only finish with, they eat grass all the way until the day of. And that's part of the big thing about having cows is you want to make sure that they're comfortable. Even all the way up until when they're put down, you want to make that experience as calm as possible. And we've done that, because if you don't do that, then what happens right before everything goes bad for the cow, good for us, and the process begins, is they release a bunch of hormones into their body, which tends to either change the flavor or change the texture of the meat. And you don't want that. So just instead of using grain, just make sure your animals have a really happy life. And are, basically they just chew the cud and lay in the sun and enjoy life in the fields. And it's great for them. They serve their purpose, and that's it.
No antibiotics, hormones, or who knows what on the green.
Yeah, in fact, we were talking about that this year. Do we want to go get the cows bred right now? And my answer was no, we don't want to do that yet, because they'd be dropping calves in winter. And I don't like that idea, because then the calves are more susceptible to disease, and sickness, because it's muddier, it's wetter, it's just, a lot colder out. So they're a lot more susceptible. So I like to get my animals bred and have them carry over winter and then drop in late spring or summer. That way those calves have a lot of time to build up an immunity, and it's nice and warm. It's cleaner out from no mud and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot nicer for them. Let's see here. Okay, hi from Los Angeles. Hello, I lived in LA. I'm sorry. Learned quite a bit from watching the channel. I work in a psychiatric hospital. Wow. So I can't work from home as it's busy, but nice watching your videos on breaks. Hey, I'm glad that we can help you out there, Visual Overland. That's nice to hear. Okay, Martin, yeah, get the pig, get local, buy local. It helps the farmers. Like, the thing here is this whole thing could just really reinvigorate the older America, everything really, not just America. Shouldn't say that. We got a lot of people from all over the planet on. I think we have, who's in the southern hemisphere? We got one in the southern hemisphere from New Zealand, and we got lots in the northern hemisphere. Anyone else in the southern hemisphere? That's the other side of the planet, down below or up top, depending on how you want to look at it. Okay. Hello from Arkansas. Howdy. But anyway, yeah, it's going to bring people back to buying local stuff again, and that's a good thing. Supporting local people. There's a lot of hard work that goes into raising animals and raising food. Even gardeners, you've seen us learn firsthand everything that we've gone through. So there's a lot that goes into that, and they just don't get paid what they should. And we've seen that with our neighbors and folks that have been raising food. And there's a lot that goes into keeping everything clean and organic and sustainable. Hey there, Jeff, Spokane. All right. There's no up and down in space. That's true. That's true. There is a celestial plane, though. So, anyway. Howdy from Missouri. Yep. Please help. Oh, that's not good. That sounds very bad. Hello from Australia. Okay. So you wanted to talk to folks about what you've been up to. So I've been talking too much. Why don't you kind of go over what you've been doing?
Well, we put together a list, which I'm excited about. I'm going to be posting on my blog of the items that we've cured and purchased for prepping. And so I got to do my inside list, and Jeff did his outside list. And so we'll be sharing that with you guys. But I think, we covered a lot of it, and I'll cover more in the resource. But just having, good, clean food for you to eat. And the thing that's going to be so vital, and Jeff keeps pushing me, you got to get the garden going. You got to get the garden going. And then also medicinals. So we're fortunate enough to live in an area where there's natural medicinals all around us. I mean, we have elderberry trees growing just out our front. So that is a huge blessing. But if there's a place where you can go and forage, so we'll also provide some books as for resourcing. So you can go and check those out and see how to go about that.
And that's going to be on your blog.
Yeah.
So I put the link earlier, but it's blossomingtable.com. So she's got a cool blog that she's been doing. It's really pretty, really awesome. And so that's where you're going to go to get those things. What else you got going on? Here, let me show you what she did. She put all this stuff out. She made it really pretty, so you guys can see. Ooh, that's not everything we have. It just looks really pretty. There's coffee. Very important to have coffee. But you can see we only got that one thing of coffee, so it's not like we're buying the end of the world type of supplies here.
We're trying not to hoard either.
Hoarding is bad. Smart. Just, you took an inventory, right? So, being a response, got to have a spreadsheet if, there has to be a spreadsheet involved. So you built a spreadsheet, took an inventory of all of our stuff and, calculated, where we're at. And that was what we used to make a decision. Okay, we got to stop. We got what we need. Time to move on, let everybody else get what they need as well. So, yeah, that's what we got. I don't think we've had any questions come through here. If you guys have questions, now's the time to get them in. We're live, probably be live for another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think they're really selling out online. It's pretty crazy. Like even in my Azure cart, as I'm checking out, the items are disappearing. So colloidal silver is also a great thing to have on hand.
Yeah, one of the things we got like 3 books. Getting books is important so that you can just open them up and not have. I mean, we're so dependent on the internet now. It's like my post yesterday. I'm like, the TV's out. What do I do now? I go to the internet, right? Or I'm on the internet. I don't go to TV. But just having good books and good resources is something that we've been doing that for years now. Just building up a nice library so that if anything does go wrong and we don't have power, don't have internet, we're on satellite internet and cell phone internet here. So we have lost internet for a while, and it's amazing how addicted we are. When you can't use the internet, you're like, what do I do? How do I talk to people now? Like this, everyone's going to be locked in their homes here. My math shows that if the United States, we should have locked down probably 2 days ago, really, if we wanted to avoid what's happening in Italy. I say that with a smile, but really I'm crying on the inside. But if we just look at the numbers, we have 7 more days until we should start locking things down. Otherwise, this thing's going to get out of control if it won't already. So let's see here. Yeah, elderberry and colloidal silver sold out at Sprouts. Oh, that was what you were commenting on? Okay. Are we planting potatoes? We're planting potatoes, and we will not be growing them in our own poop. But thanks, Martin, for bringing that one up. So yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot from a health standpoint. We're both feeling good, but kind of seeing what the next 2 weeks looks like to make sure that we don't have it. And even the family yesterday was like, just 2 weeks of distancing to make sure that we don't have it and can't give it to each other. It is going to be a nice little thing. I have been watching the reports that, everyone's like, oh, it's just the older folks, which there's some moral objection to that I have. I don't care if it's just older folks. People die. It's still not a good thing, care about everybody, regardless of what age they are. But there's some reports that about 50% of the people in the Italian ER on the beds are below 50, age of 50. And there's also reports that they appear to be getting better, and then they get like a week after that, something starts happening in their heart. Those are reports that I've seen, and trying to find them. and keep a hold of that data before it gets scrubbed off the net, which is happening. It's hard to find this stuff after you read it. Makes it very difficult. So, both those things that I said, there's like a 50-50 chance that that's true or false. It's like, which one do you believe? But we're also getting indications out of Seattle from nurses and doctors that we get some, like, Twitter seems to be the best source of news right now. You just got to try to find people who are legitimate, and that's difficult. But it is impacting younger folks now. And I'm 40 something. What am I, 42? Whatever I am. But I'm not old, but I'm not as young as I used to. I ain't no spring chicken no more. Hope you're all well. Okay. Mostly unaffected at the moment, but close to New York. Yeah. So if you look at your numbers, if you have like 1 or 2 folks in your county or state, then you're about 4 weeks behind Washington State or New York City. Just watch what's happening. That's how the numbers go. It moves very, very rapidly. And it's just math like this. Anyone can do the math. You just take the R naught, which is the spread rate, and multiply it by how many people are infected the day before, and that'll tell you how many people are supposed to be infected the next day. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again. And it really puts it in perspective how quickly things can spread and change. UK 2 to 4 weeks behind Italy. Yep. Yeah, that's true. The USA is showing that a lot of people under 50 are being hit the most. The people that are dying tend to be over, but I think that's because it hit a nursing home first. New Zealand has closed the border overnight. Oh, really? Overnight? That happened that quick, huh? Did you guys get any warning? PR?
Funny, we were talking last night about how it just feels different. Like there's just a weird feeling in the air. And Jeff was saying how things will probably be saying how things were before COVID. This is a life-changing event, and it is scary.
Yeah, bitter envious. I absolutely disagree with you. These are facts. You can go look them up. The hard part is getting them to be confirmed facts. I'm not making it up. It's not me sharing misinformation. There are reports that are coming out from the doctors in Italy that it's really nasty, and 50% of the people infected are under the age of 50 in the ICUs right now. So if you think that we're not supposed to be talking about this, I would say that you can sign off. And because we are talking about how it's impacting our lives, and this is real stuff. And I was really angry with my government, and severely angry. I did a video that I deleted because I was so angry with how many people are like, don't talk about this. Don't talk about this. All you're doing is spreading fear if you talk about this. The best statement I have, if you don't like the actual facts that this is happening, then the problem isn't with the people talking about it. It's the fact that you don't like what's happening. And that's what I'm really upset about. Is I really do not like how people have reacted in some passe, it's not that bad kind of way. And now everyone's freaking out because it actually is kind of turning out bad.
That you don't want to spread fear, but even the Bible talks about being prepared. So we do need to be smart and be prepared, and protect yourself and your family.
Yeah, it's like, if I think in a previous one I talked, people were getting mad at me because I was talking like we were actually preparing. They're like, you're just spreading fear. I'm like, no, dude. Hey, listen, if you see a storm coming, if you live in Florida, if you live in a place where there's, storms, and someone says there's a hurricane brewing, well, there's not a guarantee it's going to hit. It's all mathematical projection. Those weather models, I mean, how often is a weather man right? If you want to use that analogy. And people prepare. If you go on a road trip, you prepare. You don't just get in your car and go without checking the oil and making sure you have, some flares or a marker. At least you shouldn't if you're going on a big road trip. And that's what we're doing, is looking at the facts, making our own decisions. And I've been upfront with people. I've posted the analysis. I've posted the links. I've shared everything, the CDC sources that I've had. And it's difficult to get confirmation because things go up and then they come down. and it's difficult to get that all confirmed. And I'm open about that. I said, there's a 50-50 chance that this is not true information, but it's 50-50. If it's true, then I've got real issues. And I don't know who you trust to give you facts right now, but I don't trust my government. And I was in the Air Force, and for me to say that, that means a lot. So you got to check that out. I believe I am talking about it with facts. So anyway, let's move on from that. Press release yesterday from our PM in the afternoon. So very little warning prior. So there you go. Okay, so very little warning coming on these things. And, you know, that the virus I've put out on Facebook, you know, I don't think the real issue here is the virus. I think it's the reaction that people have and the logistics that's going to be hit by all this. So if people are getting less than 24-hour notice to have a complete shutdown, then we need to be talking about that so that people can be prepared. And if we did it smartly, like they did back in the 70s here in the US when we had the fuel crisis, if you remember, there wasn't enough gas to go around. So the government came out with actual direction that said, on these days, these people go, on these days, these people go. It's a lot smarter, it's a lot more organized, and that's what we should be doing so that people can prepare. Tom does good streams. Okay, there you go. White Healing, go check that out. Yep. Yeah, but me presenting it that way, bitter enbus. I don't know how to say your name, if it's bitter enbus, but I'm open about that. I ain't trying to cover anything up, and I think it's important that people know what's out there. This whole thing is just a result of people depending on a system that isn't built for this type of situation. Says they have tons of negative tests and flu symptoms. They send stay for 2. Yep. Oh, I'm glad that you guys have more trust over there. I don't trust mine right now. I haven't trusted it in the prior administration either. Things just are becoming too bureaucratic. They seem to care more about their parties and their own political agendas or their own political careers than they do about the goodness and livelihood of the people that they are supposed to serve. I think in my government anyway, I think they've lost track of the bubble that they work for us, not the other way around. Personal daughter with me said they cannot test unless on deathbed. Okay, personal doctor visit for, there you go. There's firsthand account.
Yeah, so there's so many more, probably, I mean, I don't know for sure, so many more people out there that have it that we don't even know about.
Yeah. Yeah, in the United States, based on the math, there should be about a little over 250,000 people, almost a third of a million people right now that could possibly be infected. And that would match up with where the death rates are at right now. The death rate's still low. It's hanging around 3%. And those are facts. That is actual numbers right now. And the really good news is it was really scary when it first came out because the reports out of China, out of Wuhan, were that the criticality rate was at 18%. That was also a fact. The good news here in the United States is it's sitting around 8% right now. And that is fantastic news. And what that means for those that aren't familiar with it is that out of everyone who gets infected, a certain percentage of people will require critical care. And you may have heard 20%, 18%, 11%. Right now, the actual numbers are sitting right around 8%. It's like 7.63, and it bounces based on the number of tests and what's getting reported every day. So the good news is, as more people get tested, that criticality rate is dropping. So that is excellent news. And it's also great news. The mortality rate is not going up, but 3% is still very high. And there's a Facebook post I did where the facts, as we've been called out here to make sure we present, I pulled them from the CDC. This is worse than the flu. The criticality rate at the time that I did that was 1,800 times more critical than the flu. That's influenza of 2019, which is measured from September of 2019 until right now. This is much more critical than that, and it has a longer, at the time, it had a 14-day average incubation period, whereas the flu is, 2 to 5 days. And now it looks like this is coming down on average, but you can still be a carrier up to 14 days and not show symptoms, and that's scary. It really puts it online mathematically with the Spanish flu of 1918. And that's the thing that really made me mad, is that people were like, it's not the flu, it's the flu. Like, dude, just watch the numbers, you just got to use your own brain and not just do what your political party tells you to do. So anyway, okay, moving on here. Uh, of closed case in the U.S., the death rate is close to 50%, which just proves there are not enough tests. Yeah, the test situation was a debacle. If you guys know, I watch the president's briefings every day, and it could be a lot better. It should be a lot better, especially in the United States. So it is close to the Spanish flu. You can go look those numbers up, the criticality rate, the death rate, all that. It's all there. Yep.
Yeah, you can also use hydrogen peroxide in your nebulizer too. I was reading. We just purchased a humidifier. Don't have a nebulizer, but there is a case that I've been following on social media a little bit, and a gal whose father presumably has coronavirus. I don't know if he was tested or not. Was using the colloidal silver nebulizer and nebulizer or humidifier, and it seemed to be helping him.
Yeah, so let's see, we're kind of moving on from some of this prep stuff. The 3D printer is coming along nicely. We actually had the 3D printer turned on. You guys are going to see that video. I think, we're doing videos now every day, trying to get you guys caught up to more real time. So we've got about another 2 weeks worth of videos in the backlog. So in about 2 weeks time, you'll see the 3D printer stuff all coming on, but it's really starting to come together. This virus situation globally has had a real impact on the project, very tangible. Specifically, lead time on all of our parts is growing because shipments are being prioritized for medical goods and food and stuff that people need based on the situations that we're all in. Borders are being shut down. Canada border shut down yesterday to us, but goods can still flow. The Mexican border is supposed to be shut down by Friday, is what the reports are coming out of Washington. So, and then at the ports, if you've seen the Los Angeles Times report, the Seattle Times report, Los Angeles has laid off 40% of the longshoremen there because there's just not enough goods coming in for them to work on. And same is happening in Seattle and Tacoma. So the thing that I've always said is that this is really going to impact logistics quite a bit. So we're seeing that, and it's actually hurting the project because when I call the suppliers and I ask them, how long is it going to take? Instead of the normal 1 week, it's now 2 weeks. Then it's 3 weeks. Oh, well, you're in the queue. It's 4 weeks. And that's really bad news for us because we've got about 4 months worth of money left in the bank, and it's getting hard to sleep at night because of that. So those are things, as they start shutting down more and more stuff, it really is impacting us. And now we are like, okay, well, what are we going to do? It's not like you can go out and find a job when everything's locked down. It's going to be hard. So what can we do to take care of all that? And it's going to be very difficult. Here's one for you, Mrs. Martian. What is your opinion on frankincense?
So I use frankincense all the time. I know that it's really good. I never really know exactly what the health benefits are if it's an antiviral. I did just read that it does help with congestion. So I love essential oils. I love using my diffuser. I use Thrive Market's Defense Blend. So I think it has eucalyptus and other oils in it. It's similar to a brand from Young Living called Thieves, and the reason they called it Thieves is because the thieves used to put it underneath their nose so they wouldn't get the bad diseases. So having those essential oils on hand can help with so many things, from congestion to antivirals to just lifting up your mood. So I love essential oils.
I am like that on the essential oil thing.
He thinks I overuse them at night, so I have him next to the bed, and
So a lot of essential oil there. So, all right, you guys hit us with some more questions. This time is a lot for you guys, so you can get to know us more. So, what are your questions? What things you have? I can make up some more stuff to give you updates on, but I'd like to really hear from you guys. Don't all jump online and type at one time now. Okay. An optimistic perspective with current events is that the project you and your wife have been working on is a big deal with what society will look like moving forward and self-reliance. I do agree to that. And I would never, the CEO of Eden and I were talking about that just yesterday. Like, we would never ever want this event ever to happen, and we would take this event away immediately if we could. But we believe that food and energy independence at the local family and community level is what we wanted to work on. That's what the mission of Eden Grow Systems is, and what we were doing before is that food and energy independence. And I think the market and the economies of the world are going to realize, like, putting all of our chips in China, that was good for getting rich, but it ain't good for bad situations happening. And it just puts too much of a security threat. And by security, I don't mean attack. I mean security as in things are not able to run smoothly. One hiccup, if you put all your chips in one place, one problem there could really mess up a lot of things downstream. And that's what we're seeing from a logistics standpoint, and antibiotics and medicines. So I think people are going to come to realize that you really do need to have ways to grow your own food again and create your own energy. And I think what we're working on, these first ones that come out the door, they're going to have to be improved, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
I just want to touch on one comment here, Jordan. Yes, definitely do your research for sure. But I use Pure Health Discount hydrogen peroxide, and I've used that for a long time. When we were growing microgreens, I used to use it in the greenhouse to disinfect instead of using bleach. And I believe that is 32%, but on Amazon, I think you can only get the 16%. So we just purchased a bunch of that as well.
Another question, does the belly bay get removed? We talked about that in the previous Q&A that I did live in the shop there for the first time. No, it is not intended to be removed. And a lot of the questions are, what is the clearance on it? It's very difficult for viewers to see, as I edit the videos. We actually have someone helping us edit videos right now who is awesome. But when you look at the videos, it's difficult to see the clearance. There's actually about 12 inches of clearance from the bottom of the wheels up to the bottom of the bay. That's pretty good. Now, that is less clearance than what was there, so that is going to have be a limiting factor or limit factor on movement. But there is about 12 inches from the bottom of the belly bay down, and the belly bay is meant to stay on. And another question I get is it meant to be moved with everything fully loaded? And the answer is the material will be fully loaded, but the water and the liquid will not. It is not intended to be moved fully loaded with water. Produce local food with YouTube content will keep afloat anytime. Produce local food with YouTube content. Well, right now, Martin, it's not. we need a lot more money coming in from. I'll be very honest with you, very transparent. Between Patreon and YouTube, we get about $300 a month, and we're putting videos up, every day, and we're trying to get more reach and all that. But we got to get like 50,000 subscribers before we can pay about half of our mortgage, and then about 75,000. Because it changes how all the numbers change, but it would get us our entire mortgage, and we need to be about 110,000 to get our entire budget covered. So
tell your friends.
Yeah, please. Be very, very helpful. If you feel like you want to help out, but you don't have the money and all that to help us, because like I said, we got 4 months left. So TikTok. Oops, sorry, we got some questions. I asked, now they're all coming. Okay, here we go. Any price point yet on the grills? Not yet, but I think you could look back at that video, and we're going to aim for what the subscribers were talking about. And then just coming up with, I got to do all the math on the 3D printer and the cost of printing everything, because the first ones are all going to be 3D prints because we don't have the money at Eden to go tool. Tooling is going to be somewhere like $100,000, $200,000 to get all the tooling put together so that we can mass produce. So our lead time is going to increase with 3D printing, but the quality will still be good. And we got to do all the math on how much electricity and time and everything it goes into that to make sure the costs are covered. But as far as price points, we really want to aim for what you guys were talking about in that previous video, which I think is like 20, 30 bucks per section. And then you can, bolt on other pieces as options, so you can keep it really low cost. Any manufacturing fabrication projects in the works? Well, you've seen LifePod 2, and right now the thing I'm working on, and the videos that'll be coming up, you'll see that 3D printer kicking in with the grow walls. We also have our partners down in Texas have our stainless steel metal getting all collected and needs to get shipped up here before logistics gets shut down, which I really pray does not happen, then we'll be able to start building the grow towers. And in my previous video, I talked about that. Those are the grow walls are meant to grow things like leafy green vegetables, strawberries, and herbs. That's it. That's where they stop. And then the grow towers are where we get to introduce root vegetables. And other people haven't done that before commercially. It's been done before in universities and at NASA, but not commercially. Well, not that we've been able to find. So if you find someone who's doing that, then shoot us a link, because I've studied about 45 different competitors, and I haven't seen anyone doing what we're going to try to do. Yeah, lots of bar soap out there. Yep.
I love Dr. Bronner soap. We purchased a lot of that because you can use it for everything. Yeah. For laundry, for shampoo, for even pest control. What else? Dishes, all sorts of stuff. Yep.
Okay, current issue causing you to rethink any logistics for the building things at Eden. Well, yeah, I think I mentioned it before, but if I understand your question correctly, it's basically what's happening in the world. Is it making you rethink anything, or have you made any mistakes that are making you rethink anything? And no, I mean, the only thing I honestly am thinking is that we made the right decisions. It's just things are taking longer to do than what we wanted. I mean, we wanted to have the trailer done in November, but setting up a startup and doing all that, it's hard. I was on the airplane going down to Texas, working with our partners down there and getting our playbook set up, our strategy set up, and getting the board and everybody to agree on what we're doing. It's not just, this is not a pull the gun out and start firing. It's not ready, aim, fire, or ready, fire, aim. Sorry. Yeah, ready, fire, aim. It's not ready, fire, aim. It is ready, aim, fire. Got that one messed up there. But, we're really trying to do it smartly with, we've brought on different advisors, different professional advisors to help us make sure we're doing the right thing. So there's a lot there. All right, Big Ben, your stuff is coming through in a different language, and I do not know how to get that converted. So if you have the ability to do a Google Translate and repost, that would be very good, very helpful. Yeah, and Adam, and I said it in the last video, but one of the things we spoke about as we're getting ready is like, if we could just have LifePod 2 operational, like, man, we'd be set. And that's a real good testimony to what we're doing. Is like, okay, when things are getting real, you're like, this thing actually would work. And it, all the math has been done as much as we can, and all the analysis has been done. I think you're doing the right thing when everybody around you is mad. And what I mean by that is the engineers think I haven't done enough, and the fabricators think I've done too much. I think that means I'm probably just right exactly where I need to be. Because I spent 3 months doing analysis, and all the fabricators would be like, you did what? You're over engineering it, dude. You're being a typical desk jockey engineer. Stop it. Go out there and build. And the engineers are all going, man, you're an idiot. 3 months? It should be spent about 2 years to do all this analysis. You're such an idiot. So anyway, that tells me I'm probably in the right spot. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right, Martin, take care. Hello, Martians. Hello, Elliot. Have you addressed any issues when you reach the point of patents? Okay, yeah, we've already submitted actually 2 patents now. We have patent pending on the Genesis system, or the bioregenerative system for sustainable food and energy production for terrestrial and non-terrestrial use. That's the first time I've said it. Or what we call the Genesis system. That patent is submitted and in with both the US and International Patent Office, and they've already responded once, and out of the 28 claims that we put in, it looks like 14 of them are going to be accepted. So that's great news, but it's expensive. And we have spent a lot of money on that. And people have said you shouldn't do that because it is a lot of money. But when you're doing a startup, one of the things you really care about is what's called valuation of a company. And I'm not a finance person, so I'm not saying that in a down way. I'm not trying to patronize anyone. I didn't know it. And everything you can do to create value in your company is very important so that you don't lose ownership percentage in your company. So submitting patents is one of the main accepted ways to increase value. Selling product is the #1 way. But because we're a design company designing right now, and then we'll be producing, so design comes first. So yeah, those patents are in, and the grow tower patents are going in, and the grow wall patents will be going in. So those will all be happening. Okay. Current setup, the trailer does not meet California load and wheel settings for the state. Can you shoot me an email, QA, at theonerealmartian@gmail.com or trm@therealmartian.com on that, because I'm not tracking on that, because it's a US certified trailer, and all we did was set it in one position. So I'd like to read more about that. What 3D printer did we order? The Modix 120 V3, baby. It's the bomb. You're going to be seeing a lot of it coming up. It is ginormous. You know, the shop that we built, I had to tear some of the stuff out of there because it was so big. It was way bigger than the measurements that I got offline were. Once you included all the stuff that goes on the outside of it, its dimensions grew quite a bit.
My nephew thought it was a dog kennel. So big.
Yeah. It is Mount Fuji. Come on now, Jacob, you know better. Look, I'll tell you, just look up the mountain ranges in Pacific Northwest, and you'll figure it out. You can see pictures of it. Yes, I have heard about the 3D printing ventilators for COVID-19. Yeah, they were printing up valves that are needed for the ventilators. They were using metal 3D printing, I think. I only read one article on it, but if that's something that's needed here in the U.S.,
that's how we can make our money, babe.
Yeah,
Ventilators.
I think they were using a different method than what we have, but yeah, it was the valves for the ventilators is what they were printing in. Oh, that's pretty good. 100%. I like to buy pure soap for dishes. There you go. Pure awesomeness. The 240-volt setting on the plasma cutter looks cool. Oh my goodness, Mike, you should have seen it. It's the first time I ever plugged it in. I was like, wow, this thing was awesome. Doing 120, I'm sitting there going, I thought this thing would be way cooler than this, and it kept losing the arc on me. And then all of a sudden, I was like, wait a second. I wired 240 out here at the site for a reason. Let's plug it in. So I got the big 240 extension cord, plugged it all in, and then went out there and stuff was fine. I had my plasma glasses on, but then I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta put my hood on and all this stuff, and it was awesome. I didn't have the camera going for that, but yeah, by the time I was done with the 240, I was like, I'm sold, man. And then there's videos coming up. You're gonna like it. I think next video maybe, where I was so sold on 240 volts that I used it for something I shouldn't. I'm not gonna ruin that spoiler, but you can check it out. Got a little fiery there for a little bit, but it was, we're here, we're safe. So
trouble there.
Anyway, it was way cool. West Virginia, Bubby, howdy. Let's see. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Okay, yeah. So where we're at in general for those that are just joining us, let's see here, kind of recapping. We left our job. We have 4 months of money left. We've been working on this for almost, I think it's like 8 months now that we've been going in design and getting everything lined up, getting the startup going, Eat and Grow Systems. You can go check that out. We have our strategy in place. We have a playbook in place. We have our advisors in place. We have our board of directors in place. Those all take time to do, stuff that you don't put on YouTube stuff. Well, we have the trailer here. We decided to do the mobile version rather than Hab 2. Hab 2 is what we call the permanent version, and then the mobile version is LifePod 2. And the reason we did that is the last video I did that was live Q&A. People asked that, I answered it there. But short version is we want to make it where people can buy these quickly. And if you go with the permanent version, you got to go through a lot of permitting. And we're going to go through that process for everybody. And then we can sell plans, or you can have us build. We just have to for a brand new thing like this that we're modifying, and there's a process for that. I have to call the manufacturer, talk to them, show them what we've done, give them the analysis. They do analysis, then we take it to Safe Patrol, get it certified, and we'll be good there. We have the trailer here. We've got a lot of the demo stuff is done. You'll see that in the videos coming up in the next week. You'll see all the demo there. And then we moved into redoing the shop, which you'll see my version of those shop videos coming up, and how many days it took me after Wrangler Star helped out. to get everything all set up. You'll see all those days happen. And then the 3D printer has been like a 2-week project to get it, like 5 days of setting it up. And now we're learning how to use it and getting those grow walls going. And now with this whole virus thing, it's really threatening we have a dog who's trying to jump up in a lap here. He's a big Louisiana Catahoula who thinks he's just a lap dog. Overall, where we're at is things are getting stressful, very, very stressful. I think we've done everything close to by the book as you possibly can. We have patents in, we have the business set up, we have business partners. I keep trying to buy stuff. We get longer lead times now because of things going on. We need to get those grow walls and grow towers going. We're also building our software app. So I have a group of volunteers that are helping develop software. We're going to be creating an ecosystem software. So it allows us to, not ecosystem like the Earth ecosystem, but like our own internal ecosystem. And we're going to be connecting growers and buyers and delivery people and the system operations and all this stuff all together in this app. I'm really excited about that. But those are all rods in a fire. It doesn't matter though if we run out of money. That's where we're at. Plasma cutter, 3-phase. Oh my goodness, at 400 volts. I fixed that from the scrap bin and gouged a chunk out of the concrete workshop floor. Whoa. Oh wow. Okay. Well, I see we're coming up on the hour here. I think that's probably a pretty good first time with Mr. and Mrs. Martian together here. Mrs. Martian wants to participate a little more in some of these videos, so I think we're going to try
Tell your wives next time. Bring your wives,
yeah,
girlfriends, and other women in your life.
try to get some more stuff up here for more people to enjoy, recipes, good stuff, things that we're doing. We are going to be getting into the garden, so we're going to be sharing some of that. Plenty of ways that you guys can criticize us on that. Of course, that's a lifelong thing. That's going to be forever. We can criticize people on gardens now too. Lots of stuff there, and taking stuff out of the garden and cooking with it, foraging. I told Alicia, like, the things we need to have: antivirals, antibacterials, antifungals, pain medicine, stuff for fever. Those are all things that we actually have local. We just have to figure out how to identify and then go get them. So we'll be sharing some of those things, much more from Alicia's perspective than the technology guy. But we're gonna have a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. So hopefully that will attract more subscribers, and we'll be able to hopefully get a paycheck. That would be nice.
Thank you, Mike. God bless you guys too.
Yep. Okay.
I wish I knew how to knit. Maybe your wife can teach me.
All right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks for following along. That's going to be it for this live stream. I'll try to get, if we do live streams again, I'll try to give you more updates, ahead of time so that you know when it's coming, and we'll try to get it scheduled. And that way it's not one of those, oh, hey, look, they're streaming type of things. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, may you and your family be safe. God bless you. Keep us in your prayers, and tell everybody about the channel and help us out that way. Take care, everybody.